Greetings, my golden friends. Today we have another episode, and today's 17th of November 2022, and it's my birthday. So I have a gift for all of you, the gift of knowledge. It's one of the best gifts that you can do for somebody. First, I'm going to show you what is a gift, and then I'm going to talk about it. So this is what it looks like, the piece of knowledge that some of you probably heard of, maybe, and never saw it, maybe. Who knows? But let's see if the camera can capture it. So take a look what I'm doing. Let's see if the light will help a little bit. So here's my tongue. Okay, so my tongue goes behind the uvula. Okay, so what is it? So Kichari Mudra, there's probably many other different names, but most people know it by Kichari Mudra. So your tongue is going behind the uvula and it's touching the pineal gland. So why it's so important, why it's a secret, that it's kept a secret for a very long time, and only few people know about it and practice it. So let's start. The notes that I have actually from last year, I have written November 30, 2021. So it's been almost a year I've been preparing this long video. So if you cannot watch it in one long stream, you can watch it in a few days. Also, you can increase the speed. I'm not going to be rushing through this. It's very important information. I would suggest to get a paper and pen and write some notes. So basically, this whole video is about benefits of this practice, and also to convince you how important it is, that it's secretly coded in movies, songs, fairy tales. It's so much going on, and it's still a secret because it's hidden. It's actually in your face, but it's hidden. So let's start with details of this mudra, why it's called the most important mudra. Mudra means gesture, right? So when you connect something, it's a gesture. You connect fingertips, it's also a gesture. You help the energy flow through different channels and stuff like that. But this one is the most important one. It's also the one kept secret. So of course, it sounds like, oh my God, how do you do that? It looks so easy. Yeah, for me right now, it's very easy. It's actually pleasant. It's easy. I don't have to push it with my finger. The tongue goes by itself behind the uvula. But in the beginning, I think what's been coded in the Bible, the circumcision, they actually don't say that only male were doing circumcision. It was just saying people, the righteous people were doing circumcision. So it means women and men. What? So basically they were cutting a piece under the tongue. It holds it down. So that little tissue, you'll see it. I have it, but it goes deep into the tongue now, so I cannot show it to you. But I never used any blades. I never cut it. It was all natural for me. So they used to probably cut it gently, slowly, to allow the tongue go behind the uvula, because in the beginning it's difficult. So circumcision in the Bible, it's a practice that they used to do to cut the frenulum, I guess it's the word, frenulum, to allow the tongue to go behind. Okay, and now everything is reversed. They cut the foreskin of the male children, and I've heard, I'm not sure if it's true, I've heard that they use this as a lotion for the superstars in Hollywood, so they look young. They apply it to their face and they look young because of that. Babies, they come into this world very highly vibrant. They are very vibrant. So everything is reversed now. So a few years ago, for me, somebody suggested use your finger, index finger, and just push the tongue behind uvula, because I was trying to go behind it and I couldn't. And somebody suggested you have to force it with the finger. So that's my suggestion for you, to use the finger to push it behind the uvula. Also, even if you don't go behind uvula, there are 4 positions of the tongue that also called Kichari Mudra number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. I showed you the number 4. It's the final product, right? But before you do that, you can actually stimulate the palate. The first one is right behind the front upper teeth. So when you stimulate that spot, it's called the moon spot. It's a cold place. So it actually cools your temperature body down. So it cools you down. Then the second one is Kichara number 2. It's a sunspot. It's a hot spot where if you stimulate that spot, you will get warmer. And there are also other benefits. So it's right in between the hard and soft palate. If you look on your palate, there's a soft and hard palate. And right in the center, there's a little, like a bump, like a pillow. And if you stimulate it long enough, you will produce also good saliva. And saliva is salivation. Salivation is salvation. That's the second spot. Then there is uvula itself, that icicle that hangs down. When you go behind with your tongue far enough, you can touch it, and also you will feel certain energies in your brain that you activate, and it's really good. The spot number 3, it gives you better focus in the brain. And then on number 4, that's the final product. You go behind your uvula, you go up inside in that room, in that closet, and then you touch the pineal gland, which is this is how it's located. Pay attention, this is very important, because I was struggling with this for a while, like where exactly the tongue have to be, like on what spot. So you have to go towards the front of your face, not the back. So as you go up, you'll notice in your nostril there are 2 little bowls, and then you're gonna be sliding. It's almost like a blade. As you glide, it's this cartilage tissue inside your nostril, and as you go up, as soon as this blade ends, you will come to this pine cone. It's actually bumpy, like a pine cone. It's not a smooth. It's a little bumpy. Yeah, it is a pine cone. Pineal gland. That's what they call it, pineal gland. And all you have to do is keep your tongue on that spot. Touch it, hold it as long as you can. That's your Kichari Mudra practice. Just shut up. Keep your tongue on it all the time. So, and that's number 4. All right. Yeah, pine cone. So it does increase endorphins and dopamines in your body. You become naturally happy. Like you just feel bliss, and it increases by the practice. Like every day you're going to feel better and better and better. You're going to be like happier and happier and happier. Your health will improve. Everything will improve in your life. And then as you hold that tongue there, the air will be flowing only through your nose. You cannot breathe through your mouth, but naturally you breathe through your nose. Very easy with Kichari Mudra. And this breath will become naturally Ujjayi breath. You can look it up. I have one video about Ujjayi breath, but when you do this, it's naturally hissing sound of the ocean within your nostrils. The tongue will be cooled. The temperature of the tongue will be cooled, and your tongue is almost like a snake. It desires more food, more pleasure, more materiality. A new car, a new ice cream. So when you cool the temperature down of your tongue, you conquered your snake within yourself. That's another way to look at it. So yeah, and it's a must during meditation. So those people who teach meditation and who do not say about this Kichari Mudra, they're charlatans, or they don't know themselves what they're doing. They're just teaching you something. They are blind themselves, and they lead in the blind. Also, that's a way up, in the future when you're ready to meditate, you will be lowering your chin down to create the Jalandhara Bandha. That's also important. So, and then let's talk about saliva. So, oh, let's talk about problems and issues with your tongue. So in the beginning, you might find your tongue is too short. So a lot of people say, "Oh, my tongue is too short." I personally don't believe there are such thing as short tongues because it's not as high as you think. It's not here. Like you're not going inside the brain. The pineal gland is somewhere in the middle of your nose. So it's not that far. So I think that the issue of the tongue length is not a problem. But if you do have that issue, you can keep the tongue with the piece of material, any kind of cloth, dry cloth, hold it and milk it and move it and stretch it like so you will stretch it longer. That's one practice. And also when you stretch it on the lower teeth, you will be cutting that frenulum, without the blade. Naturally on your lower sharp teeth you'll be cutting that frenulum that holds your tongue down. Okay, so that's a practice you could, or you can do clicking sound, and as you click, keeping your tongue, pushing your tongue down, the frenulum will be cut slowly. So those two things are important for those of you who might have short tongue. I didn't have that issue. I was always able to touch the tip of my nose since I was a kid. Okay, but some people might have, so I want to talk about it. Let's talk about saliva. Saliva is amrit. Amrit is a nectar of immortality. So it's very important in the beginning to pay attention to the taste of your saliva as you practice this Kichari Mudra. And in the beginning, as your body is full of toxins, probably, most of us are, you will notice saliva is salty. It's unpleasant. So you can actually spit it out. Don't swallow it. Spit it out. But eventually it will change to a sweeter and sweeter and better and pleasant taste. And that's the Soma Rasa, Amrit, the nectar of immortality. And when you feel it, then you got it. Yeah, give it, you got it. You got it. Also, my suggestion for the beginners, I was having throat dryness. So drink plenty of water during this process. When you practice Kichara, your body will heat up a little bit, It's almost like your body was dying and now you're giving it life. So plenty of water. And if it's very dry, you can get natural oil. Be careful what you are using because some stores sell mechanical car oil and they mark it as olive oil. Believe me, they do that. So, and just swish around that oil, you will lubricate it and then it will be no dryness, especially in the winter time if you are in the cold season. And yeah, plenty of water to keep it lubricated. And keep on pushing with the tongue, with the finger, because in the beginning it will be sliding out. It doesn't want to stay there. It was. So you will have to push it with the finger. So I also noticed, because I was pushing with my finger, and your fingers sometimes are dirty, from touching things, I was getting infection in my throat. So to cure that, I was using bay leaf, boil it, also swish around, gargle with it. It destroys the infection immediately, super quickly. It's also good for your eyes if you have some kind of eye issues with cyst or some, I forgot the name, Yachmein in Russian, but you don't know Russian. Yachmein. So yeah, you use bay leaf for that issue as well. So then, okay, here. Okay, oh, I want to talk about the intranet, so internal knowledge library. So what's interesting, today is my birthday, November 17th, and I had the dream the night before. I actually wrote it down. I always write my dreams. So let's get back to it. Where is it? So here's my dream last night. I'm in the classroom, lots of children, because I felt like very young population, like 18, 19. So I'm in this classroom with lots of students, and we are learning biology, which is interesting. It's biology, life of bios, your organic life, not the robotoids, but organic life. And the teacher tells us in my dream, If you do have a chance, please get the newest version, the newest edition of this biology book, of this textbook, because it is so much better. And then I woke up and I was like, oh, that's interesting. So, and then I'm writing my dream, and immediately I got this understanding of like what it means. So I wrote down in my library also a meaning of this dream. So Kichari Mudra, this practice that I've been doing for the last few months, it gives you access to the heart. And the heart stores knowledge of everything in God's creation, all knowledge, everything. And you will know it all eventually. With the longer practice, you will know it all. Because heart, it's a very important center. It's in the Bible. Jesus shows the heart is the answer. The heart is the key. In the Upanishads, they say God is located in the cave of the heart. So yogis were not going inside the caves in Himalayan mountains. No, they were going into the heart cave, and they get all the knowledge inside the heart. But how do you get into the heart? So Kichari Mudra, that's the key. Now we're going to talk about it. Why? Because Kichari Mudra connects your heart and your brain. Yeah, if you look my previous videos, I also talk about it. The connection of heart and the brain together. This connectivity Kichari Mudra provides you with. Yeah, I'm trying to do everything, so bear with me. I'm not going to be rushing through to make sure that I get everything out there. And still, I'm sure something is going to be missing. One of you will record a better video probably in the future, talking about this same topic, the secret of the secrets. All right, so heart, we're going to show some pictures later on, but let me see in these notes, what else do I have? So yeah, you'll get spontaneous knowledge, intranet, internal knowledge within you. It's all within you. It's inside the heart. And then eventually, with long practice of Kichari Mudra, you will get superpowers. I will just describe a few of them. You can go on the internet and find a lot of them that will lure you into this practice, but eventually you'll be having no thirst and no hunger. So imagine you don't have a need to rely on any liquid or any food at all. Okay, but that's probably, I'm not sure how many years of practice, but it's a long practice. Yeah, I think I got everything from this part of my notes. Okay, let's put it away. And next, 4 positions of the tongue, we talked about it. All right, so now the warning. So it's a lot of warnings, but I'm not going to be scaring you from this practice. If you are using this practice, this Kichari Mudra, for your material pleasure, like to get more ice cream, to get more sex from other people, to get houses, cars, yachts, travel, whatever, you will be corrupted. This practice is highly spiritual, and it's spiritual and material are total opposites. Okay, so if you're using this practice for materiality, you will dig your own grave, whether you know it or not. I mean, a lot of people, I know one now, by the way, I know one person who is practicing this but using it for material benefits, and he is totally lost. He is dark. He's so dark. So this practice will corrupt you. So I want to warn you, do not use it for material pleasures. Use it for your spiritual growth, okay? So that's one of the warning. And also, I ask you to share this video. Please press a like, comment, share this video. And if you don't, but your consciousness is telling you should, because consciousness is God. And if it speaks to you softly, listen to it. Share with a lot of people, because the more people know about this, the better society will be in the future. We'll create heaven and earth again. It will be created. So if you hide it, and you practice for yourself, oh, I'm going to be super powerful, I'm going to reach some goals, but I'm not going to tell anybody. If you think that way, this is what might happen to you. You might get killed or die natural death, not achieving much goals as you thought of. And the next life, this knowledge will be hidden from you because you are hiding this knowledge from other people now. Karma is working, cause and effect, cause and effect. If you hide in this knowledge from your friends and relatives, it will be hidden from you in the future. So don't keep it as a secret. Talk about it openly. Don't have any fears, and we'll get there. So yeah, consciousness, if it tells you, share this video, talk about it, do it. Don't have any. And yes, taste of your saliva will improve. It will get better and better and better. All right, so I think I got all the points about a practice of it. You've seen it, how I do it. And basically talk less and just practice more. If you're not eating food, if you're not talking on the phone, do it as much as you can. You're walking down the street, nobody has to see what you're doing. And by the way, don't get upset because a lot of people will be not ready for this information, but you did your part. You gave the information. It's up to them now, practice it or not, So don't feel guilty if people not doing it. So now we're going to talk about different pointers that actually talking about this Kichari Mudra. Oh, let me show you something. This is my drawing. And I'm going to show it to you. You can pause it and then look through it because I wrote down a lot of things. So here's the bottom of this page and here's the top of this page. And I painted pineal gland in yellow color as an eye, but it's not an eye. It's a bumpy pine cone. Okay. So the tongue is in red color. The uvula, as you can see, the icicle is in red. Then inside the nostril, you have two red balls. The yellow is this, it's like a blade in the middle. And as soon as it ends, so this picture is not the best, of course. So as soon as it ends, that's where you touch the pineal gland. And it's up front of your face. It's not behind. It's up front, okay? So you can read all of my notes. I'm not sure if the veins, which is, we have two veins under the tongue. You can take a look. Right under the tongue, two blue veins, right? So they actually align it with those two balls inside your nostril. So I think it's almost like electricity. You have plus, minus, and ground. So plus and minus, those two veins are lining up with those two balls, like a Christmas balls. Your nose looks like a Christmas tree. So two Christmas balls lining up with, and then the superstar at the top, the touchdown with your tongue, just like a game touchdown, right? Baseball? No, American football. So when you touch the pineal gland, that's probably a ground, and then plus and minus from electrical brain, left and right hemispheres of the brain produce electricity, plus and minus. And then your heart is magnetic. So, okay, I'm all over the place today because there's so much to say about this Kichari Mudra. You can talk for hours and you still are going to say everything you wanted to say. So yeah, electrical brain, plus and minus, left and right hemispheres of the brain, and your heart is magnetic. When we are in the mother's womb, we start with the heart. That's the first organ that is in the mother. And the very second organ is the tongue. The tongue is a very second organ. So heart is actually right now, your heart is connected through your neck. Your tongue is connected through your neck to your heart. So when you connect brain and the heart together, the things that's happening to you are amazing. Absolutely amazing. I'm so excited for all of you if you do practice this. All right, so this we can put away. I said that. And now we're gonna say about the pointers. Okay, so let's go to the pointers. I'm gonna show you some pictures. The very first one is the most important one. It's the part from the Bible. So let me find the English version because I have it in Russian and English. Here it is. So here's Matthew 6:6. But here you can read it. But thou, when thou prayest, enter into thy closet, and when thou hast shut thy door, pray to thy Father which is in secret, and thy Father which is sees in secret shall reward thee openly. So what is the conversation? Talk about closet. Who is in the closet? So basically, your tongue right now is inside the mouth. It's a room for your tongue. But the closet for your tongue is behind. So your tongue goes behind in the closet and prays to your Father which is in heaven. Do not touch down. And the Father will reward you with that saliva, salvation, amrit, the nectar of immortality, grant your wishes, you know. And it's amazing how it's coded, but many people read it and like, what are they talking? What closet? Like pray in the darkness to your Father which is in heaven. So you have temples on your face right here, right? Temples. Who is in the temples? It's God. The brain is the Father in heaven. So talking about that, I'm going to show you next picture, which is Michelangelo. Here's he coded it right on the Sistine Chapel ceiling. He painted God in the form of the brain. Here's God outlined by black marker, and somebody wrote here medulla and all the parts of the brain. And of course, I don't have the left part with Adam connected with the God by index finger, which is interesting. They connect and touch each other with index fingers. So heart is Adam and brain is God. Connect to each other by means of the tongue. The tongue is the key element. All right. So I hope I'm convincing you how important it is. I mean, it's all over the place. What is the other? So we talk about the Bible. The next one, we're going to be jumping all over the place, but the next one is No Doubt. Look at the video. No Doubt, Don't Speak. Gwen Stefani. Adam eating an apple, and it's it's so much. They mocking us. They kind of showing it like it's here, it's important, but they don't talk about it. It's like they do and they don't. So yeah, don't speak. So when you swallow your tongue, you swallow your pride, and silence. Silence is golden. You shut up. You practice Kichari. It's important. So then, next one is a movie. I'm not sure the name of it. Maybe in the comments section you can write down what's the name of that movie. But it was one of the movies where Nicole Kidman and I think two other girls, which is interesting. I think Nicole Kidman is transgender. She was born as a male with operation, but correct me if I'm wrong. But anyway, but Nicole Kidman in this movie plays a witch, and when she does magic, I think she clicks the heels and also does something with the mouth, right? So basically they say to you in Hollywood that something inside your mouth, that it's silence. They cannot show you what she does inside the mouth, but basically the tongue goes behind uvula and she does Kichari Mudra, swallowing it up. So yeah, I'm not sure the name of the movie, but it's coded there. The next one is from Hindu mythology. If you ever delved into that deep hole, there's a lot of literature, but there's one story about gods and demons coming together to turn the Milky Ocean to create the nectar of immortality. So that's an interesting story. The nectar of immortality, gods and demons, good and bad, come together to do this. And they turn the Milky Ocean with a snake. I think the name of the snake is Vasu. And they tied up the snake to the top of the mountain, which is interesting. Snake to the top of the mountain, and that snake is turned in the ocean. And in the beginning, all the poison came out. So just like I said, the first saliva will come out salty, not pleasant, throw it out, spit it out. and then eventually the Amrit comes out, the nectar of immortality. So that's coded in that storyline. And Shiva, the god of destruction, he actually swallowed that saliva, the the deadly one, the first one, and he had a blue neck because his wife tied up his neck so it doesn't go down or up to point. So he's called the blue neck Shiva. So that's an interesting story. It's coded in there as well. Milky Ocean. All right. Next one, the movie Matrix. Believe it or not, it's in the movie Matrix. If you remember the part that Chinese guy, the key maker, he has a key on his neck. It hangs down on his neck. The most important key. He has a lot of them, which open different doors to different directions. But the most important one, he's on his heart. He holds it on his neck, on his heart. So they have to enter. Remember, they have to enter this building. It's inside. There's no windows. It's in a closet almost, like, right, with lots of doors, but it's only one door, which is the right door, the closet door behind the uvula. And when they go in, all these agents, they kill the Chinese guy in the very last second. And as he dies, Chinese guy represents speech. When we talk, we waste our time, basically. So Chinese, by the way, invented print. So that's very important in this movie, that they use the Chinese guy, not the Russian, not the American, not the Mexican. It's Chinese who invented the print, and maybe the first language, who knows. But as he's dying in this closet, they shut the door. He's taking this key from the neck, gives it to Neo. Neo is the one. You are the one. Neo, one. It's 3 letters. Neoone. One. You are the one. So he gives that key to you. You are the Neo. You can use that key and get free from this matrix illusion. Maya, this game that we all play temporarily. So the key element is within you. The tongue is the key. So when you speak, you don't know. Just like my next point, I think it's emerald tablets. Yeah, emerald tablets, if you read it, it's supposed to be written by Thoth. They talk about holes of Amenti. So within your throat, it's a hallway to heaven. And there's a phrase in that emerald tablets: those who speak do not know. Those who know do not speak. That's an interesting word, right? Phrase. It's an interesting phrase. Those who speak do not know, but those who know do not speak. And that's Kichari. Once you get to know yourself, who you truly are, you don't speak. You are content with yourself, within yourself. You don't need any ice cream. You don't need any cars. You don't need any sex. Like, it's nothing can outdo the pleasure, the joy, the bliss that you experience within yourself. All right, Pinocchio. Next one, Pinocchio. I used to have a picture, but I cannot find it, so I apologize. But you can find many pictures where Pinocchio stands in front of this drawing in front of the fireplace, which is, it's interesting, it's coded. There's a fireplace and it's this painting of the fire, because your mouth is capable of eating food. Like, you can eat food as much as you want, but you are digging the grave with a fork and a knife, you know. Or you can practice Kichari Mudra and reach some really high goal. So Pinocchio also has a golden key to open that door. He has to go behind this painting and open that door, the closet door, to reach, to heaven within you. And it's a lot. We can also talk about it a lot, because Pinocchio is made of wood in the image of his father. So he is like God, but not God, right? He's almost real, but not real. He's almost like robotoid used to be, coming to become organic human, just like his father, creator. So becomes human. All right. Next one, pointers. So next one is not gonna be a fairy tale. It's gonna be a movie. If you watch the movie Ninth Gate with Johnny Depp, it's a lot of interesting stuff in that movie. But at the very end, not the very end, but towards the end, I think like 20 minutes, this guy who is powerful magician, I think, who's a dark magician, he's putting these 9 pictures on this table. So I turned my laptop upside down to see those 9 pictures in line, and it's interesting. It talks about the silence. It's a journey. It's your own personal journey. You are the warrior. You have to get the key element, and at the end, silence is golden. So in that movie, book has pictures. Look at the pictures. Very, very interesting. That even it's a lot of hush, silence, key codes in that movie. Then it's second door key. So you have a door which is your mouse, but the second door it's behind uvula. Very interesting. Yeah. So, and yeah, it leads to superpowers, but be careful, you can be corrupted and get stuck again in this matrix. The next pointer, everybody knows about it. It's holiday, Christmas, Santa Claus. It's also coded there. So your nose looks like a Christmas tree. Your pineal gland, the third eye, it's almost like the top of the nose. It's also the top of the tongue. So when your tongue is up, it looks like a triangle pointing up, and you do that touchdown. So, and there's 2 bolts inside the nostrils. When you put the ornaments on the Christmas tree, there goes your ornaments. It's also coded there, right? Christmas tree. And the star at the top, you have to light it up. Eventually it will light up. In the beginning, it's slow progress, but within few years, I'm sure you will get it light up. And yes, salvation is salvation. I talked about it. And also Santa Claus climbing down the tree. Not the tree. Santa Claus climbing down the chimney. And it's also the hallway behind the uvula, it's also like a chimney. And the tongue is red. So your Santa Claus tongue climbs up, not down, but up the chimney. And then you can get that taste of sweet milk and cookies. There is a taste in the beginning. You will get that milk and cookies also. It's super pleasant. So it's coded. Santa Claus, Christmas tree. It's all Kichari mudra. Okay, next point is, I already mentioned yogis meditating in the cave. So it is inside the cave. It's not in Himalaya mountains. It's going to be unpleasant if you're going to go there and meditate. It's cold. But it's in the cave. And then also there's a space inside the heart. It's they say in the Upanishads, if you ever read Upanishads, they always point that there's a cave inside the heart, and inside that cave everything is, all God's creations. Like Earth is one of the many creations, but imagine you go into the heart and you know it all. You know all of it because it's inside the heart. It's right there. It's in the cave of your heart. And your tongue, when it's pointed up, it's like a mountain, right? It's a triangle pointing up. It's like a mountain. Okay. I was like, wait a minute, I'm using my headphones, but I don't have to, because I forgot because I'm getting a little headache. I was like, this technology, it's not. Remember, I used to practice these glasses, the yellow glasses to protect from screen. It's also good practice because technology is poisoning us. it's softly killing us softly. Remember that song, Killing Us Softly? And also you heard about the Om, Amen, Amin, different religions. So the only thing that you can say when you are inside that cave with your tongue is right? So when somebody's practicing it, and you will notice, like take a look at my neck, it will get a little bigger when I swallow my tongue. Notice? So right now I'm doing it, and now I'm not doing it. So there's a little play of the chin. So you can know that somebody's doing it. They know this secret and they keep it hidden from you when this place under the chin gets swollen a little bit. So it cannot be hidden. Like it's a little bit obvious when you look at people. So those who know, they'll have a little bump under the chin right here. It's not a second chin. It's a real deal of Kichari. So yeah, Om. So it's almost like you eating the best food, ice cream. Or you having the best sex. You know, you do that. So when you practice Kichari Mudra, it's the best, highest bliss and pleasure you can experience. There is nothing higher than God. And God is within you. God is within yourself. All right. I also talked about the Ujjayi breath, that it becomes natural when you do this Kichari Mudra. And here's another pointer about Kichari Mudra. It's from one of the Upanishads, from Hindu philosophy, Kaivalya Upanishad. Kaivalya Upanishad. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right, but if you look up mantra number 3, this is what it says. That which is higher than heaven, seated in the cave, shining resplendent, that the ascetics enter. Those ascetics are well established in Vedantic wisdom to become pure sattva, pure self, through yoga of renunciation. So when you practice this Kichari Mudra, you will renounce all other pleasures because they are inferior. Like I remember when I was smoking cigarettes and drinking alcohol, it was pleasurable, you know. And then when I was trying to quit, it was very difficult. And I thought at that time, it's impossible to quit. But look, for almost more than 10 years, I don't smoke, I don't drink. I feel better than ever. And I don't have any desire to return to it. And recently I was able to quit sugar and flour, gluten. Gluten is also, it's a huge problem. Like my mother right now is suffering because she's addicted to gluten and all sorts of things. So yeah, another proof, another pointer, it's from the Bible. I don't remember, but it's something to do with hold that snake. And that when Moses, I think, held that snake, it turned into staff. So that tongue is that staff, that it's you holding it within that closet, up, straight up. Here's another one from John 4:13 from the Bible. Water started to flow out of the rock. Pineal gland secretes saliva. Saliva is salvation, Amrit, the nectar of immortality. And here's a direct quote from it. Jesus said to her, "Everyone who drinks of this water will be thirsty again, but whoever drinks of the water that I will give him will never be thirsty again." What is Jesus saying here? The water that I will give him will become in him a spring of water welling up to eternal life. So here's a direct quote to Kichari Mudra. Then another one, Exodus 17:6. Behold, I will stand before you there on the rock at Horeb, and you shall strike the rock, and water shall come out of it, and people will drink. Then there's another one, Numbers 20.8-13. Take the staff or rod and assemble the congregation, you and Aaron your brother. I think the brother is your snake. And tell the rock before their eyes to yield its water. And the water is saliva. Saliva, salivation, salvation. And Moses lifted up his hand and struck the rock with his staff twice, and water came out abundantly. So here's another one, right? My next point is counter-argument. A few weeks ago, Soluna Star, you probably remember him from conversation me and him had, years ago, 1 year ago, let's say. And he said, well, everything's inside your body is connected. You all blood and water. Everything's moist, so there's no need to do that. You're already there. So that was his argument, that why do this? Like, why practice? Everything is inside the body is already connected. Like, it's such nonsense. Well, take a look. Take a battery, 9-volt battery, the square one. I don't have to show you, but if you take a look and put your tongue right in that battery, you're going to feel electricity right at the tip of the tongue, but not anywhere in your ear or your fingertips or your toes. Your body, yes, it's mostly water, but it's not conducted completely. Like, you're not just water. There's other elements, and you are not conducing whole electricity easily through the body. And your body, if you're not pushing the right buttons, you're not going to get anywhere. It's probably not the best example, but if you do this with your index finger, right, maybe eventually you'll create fire, but you're not going to create orgasmic pleasure like you do from sex, correct? Correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, you're not putting things into your ear and like, oh, this feels so good. No, you're supposed to put certain things into certain things to enjoy. You understand? So there's certain electricity that is not connecting through your neck. So when you do direct connection of your heart and brain by means of your tongue, it's a direct on touchdown. So, and when you start practicing, you'll know. I mean, it's not going to be like, oh, am I there? Is this right? Am I doing it correctly? Am I hurting myself? No, you'll know. Oh, this is good. I feel good. I feel happy. So, yeah, when you eat food, you're not putting food into your ear, right? But you can. It's the same body. You don't put food into your nose. You put it into your mouth, not into your... You're supposed to put things where they belong. And your tongue, it actually fits perfect like a glove in that space behind uvula. So, all right, so that's my answer to soul. Next one. Oh, the next one is kind of speculation, my intuitive knowledge. Something about GMO. So, genetically modified organisms. If you look at cats and dogs, they are GMO. Dogs are wild wolves used to be, but they are modified. And cats are from tigers and panthers. If it's a black cat, I guess it's a panther. So we are probably being messed up with for generations also. Our grandparents were GMO'd and engineered many times over. But I think this Kichari Mudra can restore your body to its original blueprint. And here's why. Years ago, I've heard this piece of knowledge that when we begin our life, your mother and your father put together two cells, right? Father's sperm and the mother's blood in the womb, they mix together, and those two cells they start multiplying. 2 becomes 4, 4 becomes 8, 8 becomes 16, then 32, then 64, and so on. But I've heard that the very first 8 cells, they are immortal cells within you. And they have a perfect blueprint with perfect DNA that you are supposed to be as children of God. You're supposed to be perfect and ideal. But as we live in this manipulated world now, we become tainted and messed up by polluted water, polluted air, polluted food, GMO food, right? Needles and tablets and all sorts of stuff. And eventually, when you practice Kichari Mudra, your body will access the knowledge from those 8 cells that are immortal and recreate your whole body again by that blueprint. That's my speculation here. Intuitive knowledge. And I have a feeling 99% I'm correct. Next one. The movie, and next point is the movie. You probably saw it, 2011. The movie named In Time. Justin Timberlake is in it. In Time. So they actually talk about this Amrit, nectar of immortality. As you remember, this rich guy who comes into this poor neighborhood, he has a flask of drink inside his jacket right by his heart. And he takes it out and gives it to Justin Timberlake. He said, here, drink this. And Justin drinks and like, oh, this is horrible. And this guy who is very almost immortal, he tells him, oh, it gets better. Keep on drinking. And later on in this episode, he gives him again, here, drink it. And Justin Timberlake drinks it. Like, you're right, it does get better. So it's about this Kichari Mudra. It's about saliva that gets better and better as you practice it. So yeah. Caduceus, this picture of the snake and then the snake dripping down. It's almost pharmacies here in Belarus. They use that picture, the snake and the drip of that saliva, coiled spring, the spine of our. I didn't find this picture, but I used to have snake eating its own tail. So it's a round circle. It's a snake eating its own tail. That's another pointer to Kichari Mudra. My next point is also from the Bible. When Jesus say to you, well, I don't have a direct quote from where it is, but you can find it. Basically, when Jesus said, if you don't practice, because Jesus was teaching immortality, eternal life, right? And he said, if you don't, there'll be fire and grinding of the teeth. Hell, that's how he describes hell. Fire and grinding of the teeth. So what is he saying? Basically, when you eat food, you're grinding your teeth, chewing the food, and then the food goes down into your stomach, and the fire, digestive juices, which is the fire, will be digesting food, and you'll be living off that energy, but it's inferior energy than your brain energy. Your brain produces perfect electricity for your heart. The food, it will last you, like you can be 80 years old or 90, but then eventually you'll die. So this is what Jesus was talking about. My next point, I'm going to show you a picture. So let's see. Next one is from Odessa, Ukraine. And if you've ever been there, I know what's going on there in Ukraine now, but they have in Odessa this staircase. And the name of the staircase is Potemkinskaya Lesnitsa, which means in English, staircase in the darkness. So your palate, as your tongue goes back, it almost looks like a staircase. It's not smooth, it's very wavy, right? And by the way, palate in Russian, it's the sky. Небо, небо. So palate is the sky. So Potemkinskaya Lesnitsa from Ukraine It's interesting because when you stand down at the bottom of this staircase, and I remember when I was a kid, I was 6 years old, I was standing and looking up, and you can see the beautiful sky at the very top. It's amazing. Somebody coded it in architectural design. So, staircase to heaven. Okay, my next point is doctors, and I know a lot of people have a lot of negative feelings now towards doctors and nurses, but doctors, actually ambulance, when they save your life in critical situation, when your heart stops, what do the doctors do? Actually, they're actually doing something good to you. You know, remember those two irons with electricity? They put it on the chest, right? Again, not on your ears, not on your forehead, not on your toes, not on your ass. They put it on your chest. That's where your heart is. Your heart is inside the chest. And they jumpstart you with electricity, lots of voltage, right? So your heart needs electricity to live, to survive, you know. So doctors jumpstart your heart. I think it's called heart resuscitation with electricity. All right, my next one is a little bit stretch, but I got this intuitive knowledge a few days ago. In asanas, in yogic asanas, I was like, what Yogi Patanjali, I think he coded 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so many steps to enlightenment. And the second step is asanas. The third one is pranayama, the breathing, which is air, very important. But the asana, I was like, what practice of asana, different dance techniques, different moves, positions of the body. Then I decided to look at this word backwards. Not asana, but anasa. Right? If it's backwards, anasa. So ana is food. In Sanskrit, ana is food. Sa is eternal. I was like, asana, eternal food. I was like, oh, they talk about kichari. So asana, it's the position of your tongue. It's not anything else. So when you position your tongue in the, special position, kichari mudra, that's asana, eternal food for you, eternal energy. Okay, so Sistine Chapel, Michelangelo coded, I already showed it. Okay, the next one is dollar bill. Most of you probably have seen a dollar bill once or twice, right? So there's a pyramid with an eye at the very top. It's coded. The triangle tongue pointing up and touching the pineal gland. That's right there. And it's also written, in God we trust, right? In God we trust. So trust your own God within you. Okay, so that's another pointer right in the dollar bill. And this shining star above, right? The next one is the music group Kiss. Remember, he was always sticking the tongue out. He had a very long tongue. So that was his way of telling you, your tongue is the key. The tongue is the answer. It's coded. He had a very long tongue. Also, the group Smashing Pumpkins, in one of the videos where there's a lot of weird people sitting in the room and they open the curtains and Smashing Pumpkins playing this, not a pleasant song, not super pleasant, but it's interesting. In the middle of this song, he's saying God is empty, God is clean, cleanliness is emptiness, emptiness is purity, purity is godliness, God. So he's basically saying, and I am empty, just like me. He's saying, well, I don't think Smashing Pumpkins group is enlightened, but whoever is controlling them, they probably are. And they are trying to code this truth and mocking all of us like, oh, you guys don't know it. but we put it. So you're afraid to practice it because this such weirdos like Smashing Pumpkins sing about it. And he constantly sticking his tongue out, by the way. Notice he's singing in many videos. He's always showing his tongue like a like a lizard, right? So yeah, they code in it. There's another one in the Lord of the Rings movie. So let me find that. I have that picture, I think. Okay, you remember this guy screaming, "You shall not pass," right? All right, I'm gonna make it bigger. But he was doing it inside the cave. And remember, very narrow passage. They were cave. So the Kichari Mudra is coded in that episode of this movie, Lord of the Rings. And predictive programming, the very negative predictive programming, the Hollywood shall not pass. You will never be able to do this, what we know. Well, now you know. But knowledge is powerless if you don't practice it. Practice is more important. A lot of you saying, "Oh, thank you so much for sharing this information, but just not for me. Like, Kichari Mudra is just not for me. Too much work." Yeah. Oh, well. Next one. Oh, the next one is the song. So here it is. I'm going to play it and then I'll tell you about it. Basically, I replaced one word in this song. Just one word, and pay attention to the chorus. I changed the song in the chorus. Words like violence break the silence, come crashing in into my little world, painful to me, speak right through me. Can't you understand? Oh, my little girl, all I've wanted, all I've needed is here in my tongue. Words are very unnecessary. They can only do your harm. Vows are spoken to be broken. Feelings are intense. Words are trivial. Pleasures remain. So does the pain. Words are meaningless and forgettable. All I've wanted, all I've needed is here in my tongue. Words are very unnecessary. They can only do your harm. All I wanted, all I needed is here in my tongue. Words are very unnecessary. They can only do your harm. Enjoy the silence. Very coded song, by the way. So yeah, this is my gift to you, November 17th. I'm not gonna upload it, of course, today. I have to go to the internet spot because my neighbor stuff. So yeah, things are changing, and silence is golden. All I wanted, all I've ever needed is here in my arms, in my tongue. I changed the in my arms into my tongue. It's in your tongue. So enjoy the silence. Silence is golden. So Depeche Mode coded this Kichari Mudra in this song. And by the way, in my arm, arm, Ra. So Ra, the god of sun, Ra, it's not speaking. It's just it's joy, bliss. It's enjoying. So my next point, I still have few left, is you're gonna have powers eventually. They will be developing different powers within you. So they called siddhis, those powers. They called siddhis, and there are many powers. So for you to control them, to have them, but not to use them, that's a key element. So as you grow spiritually stronger and stronger, you have to have powers and not use them or abuse them. That's very difficult. It's not easy to become gentle and kind and just observe this reality, this God's creation. Everything is one God. When you realize it, you'll be gentle, because think about it. If we compare God to one tree, let's say just one tree, and there are many leaves, so we are like leaves on this tree. You're not going to be hurting your own fingers, or you're cutting your ear or your toe. It hurts, it's painful, because it's part of you. So same thing with everything around you. You're going to be gentle to everyone, because you realize that everything is one God. So you're going to be nice, gentle, happy. That's a really good point of this Kichari Mudra. You'll be happy when you practice it. And yeah, in the beginning of this practice, you might find some enemies, and I didn't want to scare anybody, but I remember reading something about Buddha and Buddhism, that he was not very eager to teach women enlightenment, because women are too emotional and they just want to have a baby, and they will do anything to have a baby, because that's their instinct, and their menstrual cycle every 28 days is so strong that they want to have sex. And for males, it's much easier to control their sexual energy. Females, it's very hard. They want to have a baby. They just, like I recently got this message from my friend from New Jersey, United States. She just recently got a baby, and she named the baby Alexander, like myself, Alexander. And she's so happy. I know she really wanted, and they have issues with her husband. They couldn't for a very long time, and now she's on top of the world. But it's it's material. It's still it's a higher pleasure, of course. It's not compared to chocolate or ice cream, of course. But if you are becoming immortal, you're not gonna care about sex. You just don't. Or procreation. You're not gonna get to God by means of procreation. It's written in all the scriptures. Not by means of money, not by means of procreation. So you're going to get to God by means of this Kichari Mudra, and canceling all your desires. That's the only way you're going to get to God. And God is infinite. It's never bored. It's constantly evolving and changing in its blissful dance that it's eternal. It sometimes forgets itself and becomes you, And eventually, when you start meditating more often with this Kichari Mudra, you'll realize everything is in your heart. Everything, the whole God's creation is inside the heart. So, but on the way there, you'll be seduced. In the Upanishads, they say that god of mind, Indra. Indra sends this seductive woman to Shiva, who is meditating. And Shiva looks at this beautiful, beautiful woman, takes some dust from his skin, because that's how long he's been meditating. He's dusty now. He takes some dust from his skin, throws it at this woman, and she becomes even more beautiful. So, what is the metaphor? What is the meaning of this story? That when you get to God, everything in this material world is meaningless. And by the way, sex and lust is your last desire that will leave you before you become enlightened. It's written in the scriptures as well. You can check me out on this one. But comparing to alcohol and cigarettes, it's easy to quit cigarettes and alcohol. Easy. Like, I know a lot of you probably still not there, struggling with it. But for me now, looking back, I was, oh, that was so easy. Sex is difficult, challenging, because it's the most pleasurable in this material world. With sex, your partner, you can use five senses to enjoy them. You can see them, you can hear them, you can touch them with your because if women or men are highly vibrant, they taste pleasant. Sick people, they don't taste good, of course, but the healthy young ones, they taste good. And you can touch them, the sense of touch, smell them, taste them, see them, hear them. All five senses are involved. And it's very hard to say no to potent, most powerful pleasure. But yeah, you will get there. Eventually, you'll be like, it's nothing. It's like that story of golden fleeting deer in the forest. Remember Rama and Sita? Rama and Sita were separated, and Sita was enticed by this golden deer fleeting in front of her face. And she's like, oh, I want that. So that golden deer fleeting in front of her, and she wanted. It's this material world that we all stuck in. Like, once you get your eyes gazed off the God into this material world, you lost it. And when she did, everything went sour after that, if you read that story. But she saw this golden deer, like, oh, I want it. It's so beautiful, golden deer, and you lost it. It's always in you. You just need to keep practicing it. Kichari mudra, meditate. And eternal bliss is within you. Nothing can compare to that. Nothing. By the way, there is this song, Nothing Compares to You. Who sings that? It was an old song. Maybe you can comment in the comment section. All right, I think all the information that I wanted to say about this Kichari Mudra is out there. And yes, when you get in, as you are practicing more and more of this Kichari Mudra, you'll be noticing more and more this, how do I say, it's this strange desire to dance with joy. That's so weird, because I never thought about myself dancing with joy, like Shiva dance. If you look up Shiva dance, he dances after meditation. He's so ecstatically dances, like by himself, because he is one with God. He's like, oh my God, everything is God and I'm God, and everything is God and I'm God. It's you just want to dance and sing and be happy. It will happen. If you quiet, it will come. So if you practice Kichari, it will come. So don't be surprised by this outburst of desire to dance and sing and be happy and laugh and enjoy, just be joy. So I think I have all my points. Let's see if I have any pictures left. Okay, here's a good one. Take a look at this one. I thought this was cute. Illustrated guide to a spiritual awakening. God, God, also God, also God, also God. So everything is God, right? So very true. Next picture, if I have one. this one. That's a good one. So I have a feeling when you practice Kichari Mudra for a very long time, you will get that device on top of your head. It's almost like a flower blooming. It's and everybody has a little bit different one. You know, you see on the left has a very weird one, and then on the right it's more like a cup, a glass, right, with the sun inside. So we all shining. It's just to a degree. So the aura around your head becomes stronger and stronger and stronger. All right, so what else? Okay, this is a good one. It shows the brain in, so it shows the head and then different parts. You can pause it, take a look about Kichari Mudra. When you go behind uvula, and where the pineal gland located right in the center of the brain, but the access to it, it's not as high as you think. It's much easier than people think. So Kichari Mudra is much easier than, you know, many people believe. Here's another one, but I think it's in Russian language. It's written Egyptian eye in your brain. So it's coded also a brain cut in half. So pineal gland and access to it by means of your tongue. So you can pause it, take a look at this picture. Very unique. Somebody did it. I didn't do it. Most of these pictures I just found on the internet. And here's the one. Also, it's in Russian, but I thought it was cute. There's a messenger, like Facebook Messenger in Russia. It's called Vkontakte, in contact. So basically to be in contact. So somebody took a picture of, I think it's Shiva or maybe some other god, and in Russian it's written, the most important one is to be in contact with God. So they, of course, they advertise the social media platform, but it's in our face. It's like everywhere. They talk about it everywhere. Movies, fairy tales, songs. Oh my God, it's just, you have to do it and be silent. Silence is golden. So this is my gift to you, November 17. I'm not sure when I'm gonna be uploading this video, and please comment. Oh, here's another one for you to like, share, comment, and thank you for your donations. I appreciate it. And I'll see you next time. So much love to all of you from Belarus. Keep on vibrating high. We are recreating heaven and earth. So much love to all of you. Bye.